What's up guys, I'm VocalStrike and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution. Last time we stopped Rex Raptor and even got our first loss. And this time we are going to be taking on Yami Bakura in Evil Spirit of the Ring. Later that night, the team settled down for dinner when they were visited by their high school friend Bakura. As they chat around the campfire, the conversation soon turned into dueling. In the anime, Bakura, Tristan, and Taya all snuck on board the ship. In the manga, Joey, Tristan, Taya, and Bakura were all allowed on board. Let's have a duel right now. Not for starches, but just for a little fun. As you can see around his neck, that's a Millennium item. Another bit of detail to know is that in Duelist Kingdom, you notice how Yami Yugi has like a choker and a couple bracelets, and Yugimoto has those same things as attachments plus a chain around the Millennium Puzzle? That's not his design until Battle City. In Duelist Kingdom, the Millennium Puzzle was kept together with a string, and he didn't wear a choker and a couple of bracelets. As for the Millennium Ring, the Millennium Ring's power is that, very much like the puzzle, it houses a spirit within it that takes control and possesses its host. Should the need ever arise, or whenever he wants to. The difference between Yami Yugi and Yami Bakura is that Yami Bakura basically just takes over whenever he wants. They're not partners. Bakura is just a tool for Yami Bakura to use to get closer to the Millennium items, which is what he's after. But the Millennium Ring's unique power is that those 5 pointy things that are hanging off of the ring, the Millennium Ring is essentially like a dowsing rod, where it points out literally anyone or anything that you really want to look for, so long as it's within a certain range. Naturally, this range is also extremely high, but we only ever really see the Millennium Ring ever point to Millennium items, because that's what Yami Bakura is after, is the 7 Millennium items. It is also worth noting that the Millennium Ring is actually one of the more dangerous items, saying that that any of the original keepers of the ring has to be careful with it, because they actually do sense and feel a very dark and very evil power sleeping within the ring. They don't want that coming out. Naturally, Bakura isn't trained to deal with it, so I'm down with that. After all this Starship stuff, it would be nice to have a duel with no strings attached. By this point in the manga, everybody, including Yugi and Bakura, are aware of their Yami selves. They are aware of Yami Yugi and Yami Bakura. But in the anime, this is their first run-in with Yami Bakura, and they don't actually fully realize that there is another Yugi from within the puzzle, until this very duel. Which also, as best as I can tell, this duel is not in the manga. This is only in the anime. I agree. I think just a regular old duel sounds like a great idea. Hold on, be right back. And I'm back. Was just grabbing myself some water. Nice and refreshing water. Bakura's English name is Bakura Ryu. In Japan, he's known as Ryo Bakura, so the last name and first name kind of gets switched. Before we get started, there's a little something I'd like to share with you, and especially with you, Yugi. No, it can't be. A Millennium item? Yes, and the magic of my Millennium Ring will take us to the Shadow Realm. Why are you doing this, Bakura? You have something I want, and I aim to take it. Before this, they all discussed like what their favorite cards are. Yugi's favorite card is, of course, the Dark Magician. Joey's is not the Red Eyes, it's the Flame Swordsman. Tristan's is the Cyber Commander. Teia's is the Magician of Faith. And Bakura's is the Change of Heart. Quite fitting considering that there is a dark spirit possessing him. Quite fitting. This would be the second time they actually encounter Yami Bakura if this duel was in the manga, which it isn't. In the end of season 0 and the original manga, they first meet Bakura, who just transfers to school at Domino High. They go to his place, and Bakura wants to play games with them, wants to have friends, but every time he does, they all go into comas. What ends up happening is that the souls of those people are being taken because of Yami Bakura and put into little figurines that they use for their board game, which is a D&D inspired game. But the only dice they roll are 2d10s. In D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, the highest roll is results in a critical success. In the game that they played in the manga and in season 0, the lowest roll is a critical success. So it's a bit reversed. Naturally, the game was rigged, but Yugi and his friends do end up winning. But if any of his friends' figurines characters die or get a critical failure, their souls get trapped in the figurines along with all of his other victims. And naturally, Bakura has had enough of this and actually rebelled and tried to take over again. This is actually, it then kind of plays out very similarly to this, where Yugi, Joey, Tristan, and Teiya, and also a little bit Bakura, actually gets put on the board into the game. Whereas Yami Bakura and Yami Yugi are the players. So in the anime, in the Duel Monsters anime, this is their first time actually seeing Yami Bakura and Yami Yugi separate from Yugi Moto and Bakura proper. But in season 0 in the manga, this happened way before. And Bakura even stopped wearing the Millennium Ring for a while afterwards to make sure that Yami Bakura wouldn't come out again. But of course, it's not meant to last, as if you pay attention in the manga and the anime, the ring doesn't exactly stay away. So long as you are holding the Millennium item, the spirit within that item can still take control, can still take over. You have something I want, and I aim to take it. Bakura, possessed by some unknown spirit, used the power of his Millennium Ring to lock away his friends' souls. Their souls have been locked away, and now after waiting for countless centuries, the legendary Millennium Puzzle is mine. Yami Bakura is known as Bandit King Bakura back in ancient Egypt. Just as Bakura tried to grab the Millennium Puzzle, it started to glow. The spirit within the puzzle awoke, manifesting himself in Yugi. No, it can't be! You want my Millennium Puzzle? Then you're gonna have to duel me for it. But if I win, you'll release my friends and send us all back. Haha, I agree to your ridiculous terms, Yugi. But I promise you, there is more at stake here than you comprehend. And this is one shadow game that you cannot win. Yami Bakure kind of has a bit of a mix mash of monsters in the anime in this one. He doesn't exactly have like a majority of his fiends at this point in the series. He doesn't have the Destiny board yet or anything like that. Oh god, this hand is horrible. Whereas Yugi's deck is a mixture of has their own cards combined with and there goes my controller. Has the Magician of Faith, which is Teia's card, the Cyber Commander, the Dark Magician, and the Flame Swordsman. Oh, this is even worse. Oh, this is even worse. This isn't a good start. I will say that much. This is not a good start. Goodbye, polymerization. This is the traditional fate of card games where sometimes you get nothing but a dead hand after the next. And there goes my other polymerization, and there goes a monster reborn. Oh, come on! You're killing me here. Literally, you're killing me here. I want to say the monster reborn for something worthwhile. There's no point. Because I think I lost this. Oh yeah, I totally lost this. Wow, that was a massacre! Let's try again. And like always, if I end up losing, I will be cutting ahead to a successful duel. Okay, I'm gonna flip summon this guy, the Rakagorgrado #1, attack, because I don't trust that base down. I knew it! It's a damn man-eater bug. And this is also what main phase 2 is for. I also don't trust that face down. Because I'm guessing that is another man-eater bug. Nope, it's a morphine jar. That is why you always make sure. No, I actually don't want to do that. What I do want to do is this. Okay, this is so much better. This is so much better. Raigeki. Is all 3 flame manipulators alright? No, only 2 of them. I kind of want to save it for... Yeah, let's save Raigeki for a reason. Change of heart. Yeah, I'll negate that. So I will tribute Claw Reacher to negate the summoning of Earl of Demise. Oh no, a dead hand. I could set down a spell and try to bluff, but AIs don't really go for that. Gross Ghost of Fled Dreams. Oh, it had to be Raigeki. Oh, that hurts. Swords of Revealing Light. This will buy me time. I don't remember having this close of a duel in this case. It doesn't usually start getting fairly close until we start diving into archetypes in later duels than this. Summon Skull. Oh, something I should have noted last episode, since I brought it up. about when it comes to special summoning and flip summoning. Even though you can flip summon and special summon as much as you are able and as much as you want, able to, or as much as you want, flip summoning and special summoning are considered two different types of summoning. So if you flip summon a monster and your opponent plays a card that destroys all special summoned monsters, then you can't, then the flip summon monsters are not affected. Ooh. Let's get rid of you. And let's get rid of Horn of Heaven. Pot of Greed. Another Graceful Charity. Get rid of you. And get rid of Masaki. Polymerization. Set you. And then the turn. I mean, that is a fairly strong start this time around. Dark Hole. I can actually use that to get rid of all his monster, to get rid of that face down. Which I honestly don't fully trust. And I can always bring back the Flame Swordsman. He should have attacked. Okay, let's bring back Summoned Skull. Now, the Magician of Faith is actually a very good card if you want to bring back a spell card. It's actually one of the few cards that can bring back spell cards from the graveyard. And let's bring back... Let's bring back Monster Reborn. And then use it to bring out the Earl of Demise. And Monster Reborn brings it back in our control permanently. And then... so let's bring out Masaki. The Man-Eater Bug! So I lose both my cards. And I lose... a lot of life points. A fair amount of life points. And that's a polymerization. Excuse me, having a couple of silent burps here and there. I did just eat not too long ago. Okay. Okay, this is fine. I can deal with a bit of chip damage. Another weak card. Hold on, let me do a bit of math. 100. Oh no, I can win! But the Furious Sea King. Okay. This took 3 attempts. With the destruction of the evil spirit's last card, Bakura was free from the grip of the evil spirit. Are you okay, Bakura? I am now, thanks to you. Where'd you get your Millennium Ring? My father picked it up on one of his trips. He told me it's from ancient Egypt. He was shopping in a merchant bazaar when the Millennium Ring caught his eye. In the Dark Side Dimensions movie, Bakura's father goes on a late-night exhibition to try to find the Millennium items. He does wind up finding it and picks up the ring, but gets knocked away from it and actually hurt from it because the ring did not choose him. Bakura snuck in, and when Bakura grabbed the ring, that's when Bakura first took control. Yami Bakura first took control, rather. As best as I can tell, the manga and the Duel Monsters anime kind of mirrors each other in this story. But in Dark Side Dimensions, when Yami Bakura first took over, he killed Shadi, who was protecting a bunch of children and the Millennium Items at the time, and Bakura's father. The man who sold the ring to my father said it had something to do with Duel Monsters, but that never made any sense to me since the card game is new and the ring is clearly ancient. When my father got back, he gave it to me. He said he felt I was destined to have it. Okay, I actually completely forgot that the deck in this game is actually very much a crippling deck. And since that did take a few attempts, let's go on to the next one. Panic Attack. When Taya, Tristan, and Joey awoke, they thought Yugi's duel against Bakura was only a dream. I just dreamt that Bakura went totally mental. Same here. Last time I snoozed with dueling cards under my pillow. Sleep well, guys? Ah, Bakura, don't hurt me! Suddenly, the team heard a scream from the woods. That sounded like Mai. The team ran through the forest into a clearing and saw a very large duelist defeating Mai. Bye-bye, birdies. This is Panik, one of the mercenaries that Peasus hires for the Duelist Kingdom tournament. In the anime, they are known as Eliminators. In the manga, they are known as Player Killers. Peasus hired a total of 3 of Player Killers that I know of. And that is Panik, who is known as the Player Killer of Darkness in the manga. The Paradox Brothers, which is not in this game. And the Ventriloquist of the Dead. In the anime, the Ventriloquist is replaced with the dark side version of Kaiba that Yami Yugi sent to the Shadow Realm via Mind Crush after the very first duel between Yugi and Kaiba of the anime. My harpies, they're gone. I think you mean eliminated, just like you. Now hand over all your star chips, you loser. Mai, are you okay? This sideshow freak giving you a hard time? That's right, just like Pegasus pays me to do. Root out all the dueling filth on this island and dispose of it. The Eliminators were hired by Pegasus in order to seek out duelists of the tournament and eliminate them. However, in the manga, they also have orders that if they see Yugi, he is the primary target. That all other duelists don't matter except for Yugi. Doesn't that make you a garbage man? This is no joke. Panik's one of the island's eliminators. And if you don't get out of here, he's gonna do to you what he did to me. Check out her duelist glove. Not a star chip left. You're out of the tournament, Mai? I am. It all happened so fast. The way Panik duels, I just lost it. Panik is a bit of a bully. His deck is composed of fiend monsters that gets a field power bonus in the darkness. And very much like in the case with Mako's monsters in Duelist Kingdom, the darkness actually conceals his monsters so that you can't see them or fight them. And because since there are people who are afraid of the dark, this is also used as an intimidation tactic. She was one of my easiest victims yet. Panik pushed Mai to the ground. You creep! There's no excuse for pushing a girl. I've dealt with a lot of bullies in my life, and I'm afraid there's only one way to deal with them. You have to stand up to them. Let's see you try your intimidation tactics against me, Panik. I don't scare easy, especially when I'm standing up for my friends. Yugi, huh? Must be my lucky day. Pegasus has promised a generous bounty to the Eliminator who defeats you. Think he'd throw in some extra cash for inflicting bodily harm? I'll wager all the star chips I have to win Mai's. It's a deal. If you win, I'll give you all 8 of her star chips because your bet makes no difference to me. What do you mean? What I mean, little Yugi, is when you duel against Panik, you're putting much more than just your merely measly star chips on the line. I can see the fear growing in your eyes. I do believe you're beginning to panic. Are you finished blowing smoke, Panik? The last time someone had the nerve to talk to me like that, I broke him in half. Now let's duel. What Panik does is actually slightly different between the manga and the anime. In the anime, Yugi's legs actually gets shackled to the arena, like, you know, where he normally would stand as a player, and there are flamethrowers pointed at him. But of course, this is Yami Yugi. He literally just brushes it off like it's nothing. Whereas in the manga, since they use battle boxes, Panik instead manages to put a wire around Yugi's neck So if Yugi loses, he is choked to death. Ooh, that is a strong start. This is a very strong start. And the thing is that Yugi used his own scare tactics against him. He was weaseling into his head because when he played Swords of Revealing Light against him, this is actually one of my favorite duels in Duelist Kingdom, to be honest. I actually really liked this one. He puts up Swords of Revealing Light, which not only traps his monsters, as Swords of Revealing Light tends to do, but it also gets rid of the darkness. At that point, Panik, panics and actually puts everyone into defense mode, which is what Yugi wants. And the thing is, 2 turns before he played Swords of Revealing Light, he already knew how this duel was going to end exactly. And he predicted 5 turns, and Panik loses. And of course, Panik thinks he's bluffing because, well, let's be honest, that sounds like a big bluff, because how would you know? But Panik knew. But Yugi knew, rather. And sure enough, in 5 turns, when Yugi gets the Swords of Revealing Light and everything he needs to wipe him out, sure enough, in 5 turns, Panik loses. That sucks. Yukishin. Frenzied Panda, which is quite surprising considering that he uses fiends and not beasts. Reaper of the Cards. Level 5, not very strong. Select 1 trap card on the field and destroy it. If the selected card is set, pick up and see the card. If it is a trap card, it is destroyed. If it is a spell card, return to its original position. It's essentially just a stronger Trap Master. That's all it is. It's just a stronger Trap Master. That's not exactly worth it of a card. If it was a little bit stronger, it might be a little bit more worth it, but it's not. Okay, what are you? Bone Crusher. Something from the graveyard by the effect of a zombie type monster. Okay, so yeah, it's a zombie. We could target 1 spell or trap card your opponent controls. Destroy that target. During the end phase of the turn, this card was special summoned. Destroy it. Another Bone Crusher. Castle Dark Illusions. Flip effect. Increase the attack and defense of all zombie-type monsters by 200 points. As long as this card remains face up on the field, the attack and defense of zombie monsters continues to increase by 200 points during each of your standby phases. This effect continues until your 4th turn after the card is activated. That's a weird effect for a fiend type, honestly. Because in duel monsters, the Castle of Dark Illusions works well with fiends or any monsters that get a field power bonus in the dark. And the Castle of Dark Illusions is what creates the dark mists to begin with. So having the official card actually affect zombies is a little weird in my opinion. But since his deck is not a zombie deck, I don't have to worry about it so much, and 200 points is not that big of a boost. Catapult Turtle. Let's bring out these two instead. Another Castle Dark Illusion. I need a polymerization. I need something that can get rid of all of his monsters. Dark Magician, but he's not strong enough. But the Gaia the Dragon Champion is. I'll see if I can try to get another polymerization. You manage this card from your graveyard and target one zombie monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. Again, it's really weird that this deck is like a mixture of fiends and zombies when he's more commonly known to use fiends. Rue Kaiser. That's a dead hand. These cards aren't exactly worth taking. I'm okay with that. Mammoth Graveyard. I may have a slight idea for this one. I can at least get rid of one of his monsters this way. Excuse me. Okay, so my army grows, but I still need to take care of the other two monsters. He dead hands again. neither of us can really do anything. And every time he sets a monster, I can just simply destroy it. Okay, yeah, only one of the polymerizations are used up. Oh no! Mirror Force. Mirror Force, you hate to see it. It hurts the soul, it really does. Oh, this is gonna hurt. I mean, if I can get any monster that's above 1200 attack points, I can almost destroy every single one of his monsters. Oh, now you give me polymerization? I lost. Gonna have to try again. This recording is gonna be over an hour long, which is gonna be a first for me. Okay, I think there's a bit of a glitch here with the Castle of Dark Illusions. That's actually a problem with some of these card games at times, is that they do provide a bit of a sometimes they do get a bit on the glitchy side where they don't fully follow through, because that monster should also be getting stronger as well. So, attempt number 4. Okay, good. Not Mirror Force. Yellow Mr. Shield's gonna be a bit of a problem, though. Okay, it has one more turn. Who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky. Oh, I think the game might have froze a bit there. Okay, so far so good. So far so good. I mean, it freezes a little bit on that, a little bit like that on me. I don't know if it's OBS or the actual game, because this game actually does have a bit of a problem actually freezing at times. It doesn't crash or anything, it just lags to the point where everything just sort of stops for like 10 to 15 seconds, maybe 20, give or take. And that is usually because that only happens in the single player, and it's usually because of that the AI is trying to maybe determine what the best move is, or there's like just a lot on the board to where the AI just sort of struggles to keep it all together. This does not happen in the multiplayer though. And I'm getting lucky, he's not getting Mirror Force. It looks like I might actually win this round. His ace card is usually the King of Yami Makai. Is usually his heavy hitting monster that you want to look out for. Okay, so assuming that new face down card's not a Mirror Force, I win. I win this duel. This has taken 4 attempts so far. Sakuretsu armor. I can deal with that. Let me change this card to defense mode, because Mirror Force can't affect defense position monsters. Okay, I actually would have won. Even though Panik does use intimidation, when his back is against the wall, he basically huddles up. Can that actually affect face down monsters? Target one monster your opponent controls. Okay, so that was not a Mirror Force. But just so that way I stand at least some sort of chance against that face down. Let's have 2 Curse of Dragons. Oops. Polymerization. Okay, so since I chose the left side as my extra monster zone, since I chose this extra monster zone as mine, this other extra monster zone on the right is now Panik's. Castle walls. God damn it. What's underneath here? Oh, yep, there goes some of the slowdown. So stop asking. I really wish they had the same mechanic like they do in 7 Trials to Glory, because in 7 Trials to Glory you can actually, like, you know, press on your face down cards and actually choose when you want to activate them, when you actually want to be asked to activate it, so that you don't have to really worry about getting this problem where it's just constantly asking you over and over again. And honestly, there's really no other way to do it, but I really wish they kept that mechanic going. Nobody beats Panik. Nobody. Yugi, you are incredible. The Millennium Puzzle has more power than we thought. In a fit of rage, Panik actually tried to smash the button that was controlling the flamethrowers in the arena and actually tried to burn Yugi alive. Except Yugi's Millennium Puzzle protects him, does a Mind Crush on Panik, and sends a warning to Peasus saying that he is coming after him. Well, actually, no. I think that warning actually came from the dark side of Kevin. Now that I think about it. Yugi, I don't know what to say. Here, these star chips are yours. Take them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She didn't have 10 star chips at this point. She had 8. I'm sorry, but I can't accept them. I fight my own battles. My Yugi risked his life in this duel for you. Literally. I know, but there's no point in arguing. She's way too thick-headed. But if she'd rather be booted off the island, I'll take him. You think me losing all my star chips is funny, Joy Wheeler? I thought you didn't want them, Mai. Give them back. Of course you can have them. They're yours. Really, Joey? Didn't you learn anything from this duel? You can't always keep your defenses up because they'll just get between you and the other people who are trying to be your friends. So can't you let your shield down? Just this one time? Okay, there's going to be some cutting out in this episode because this is over an hour long. But there is also one other thing I need to clarify, and it's in the deck. It's in the card shop. I stumbled over my words again and accidentally said that you get 8 packs and guaranteed 1 rare card per pack. That is not the case. You get 8 cards per pack you purchase, and one of those cards is guaranteed to be rare. Another thing I should also mention is the numbers here that are beneath the packs. The very top number is how much duel points it costs. Grandpa Moto's pack is the only pack that costs 200 duel points. All the others will cost more than that. I don't think they go over 400, but I could be totally wrong. I could be misremembering. The number that says, like here on Grandpa Moto, 33 out of 314, that's each individual named card that is in the pack. The very bottom number that says, like on Grandpa Moto's pack, 44 out of 942 is 3 copies of each card that you have. If you want to fully get 100% on every single pack, you are buying packs until both numbers are full. When both of those numbers are completely maxed, you cannot buy that pack anymore because you already have every single card. And you already have 3 copies of every card. And unlike some of the older games where you could get like next to unlimited copies of the same card, if you get up to 3 copies of a card from a pack, you never get that card again. And it's rotated out to a different card instead. So in the next episode, we are going into the next duel, Arena of Lost Souls. Thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next episode.